Hey, Slàinté, y'all. Welcome to Scotch on the Bayou. It's Tuesday night, and we're here in the studio in Baton Rouge, and we've got little tiny bottles everywhere, right? Sample bottles, sample bottles. We have sample bottles everywhere. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 20 on my table, which we will not be having all 20 tonight. I can promise you. Nobody wants to see me that adorable. But there was so many to select from and choose from for tonight. And I thought, what a great time. We've just had a holiday, we're coming into a short work week. Let's maybe go grab a couple of those sample bottles and see what we have, right? So, anyway, thanks for being here tonight. I really do appreciate it. I want to see who all is in. Uh, it is a rainy, stormy day in Louisiana. I think everybody's home and everybody's streaming. So, apologies if we have more difficulty tonight, but I appreciate the patience there. So my buddy Zach Andrews, of course, he's here. He was first this time. Yay, Zach! Congratulations. More than a couple of my samples have labels with his handwriting on it. Actually, I should even say his daughter's handwriting on it. But yes, there will probably be some balconists around tonight. For anybody who knows Zach, he is definitely a balconist fanboy for sure, my friend. Ross Fudd, Tom's good to see you. Baby Blue or Brimstone? Which one of those balconists? I like both of them, but I'm probably a Brimstone person. Or perhaps some True Blue. Maybe that too. You never know. You never know. Oh, hey, Stacey's good to see you. You have to tell me which Irish ones you're taking, or if you're going off the track tonight and having a sample of something else. Thanks for being here. And hey, Andrew, good to see you, friend. Get your letter. Y'all, Andrew has put together an amazing blind for me to do. I'm trying to schedule a time to do that in the probably the next month or so. He's done one for Roy. He's done one for Shayla. I'm super excited to try this one. Everything made it over from the UK and fine, so I'm really stoked about that. Hey, Andrew, it's good to see you. I hope you do get some rest after this, friend. Hey, Trooper, yeah, sweet looking samples. Lots of sample bottles, right? God, they're just everywhere. And Chuck's here. Hey, Malt Minion, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Drinking some Highland Park Spirit of the Bear sample he got from Sunday Evening Scotch. Well, yeah, it's amazing how many of these samples we've gotten from each other, right? That's definitely for sure. Man, and I'm sorry, Jim, but I could have put that's a better bet than black or red that you're going to be drinking Highland Park tonight. That's a hoot. Let's see who else is in here. Whiskey Nose. Hey, good to see you here, friend. You got to tell me what you're drinking tonight too. And Paul M is good. Thank you, friend. Thanks for being here. And Chad, let's see. As of yet unreleased, the SMWS Hazelnut Chocolate Dundee Cake 16-year Bushmills. Well, Stacy's going to be heading to your house for sure. Wow. And as of yet unreleased SMWS. How'd you get your hands on something like that, friend? Oh my goodness. Michael, see ya. Thanks for being here. And Daniel H is in the house. Happy hot ass Tuesday. It's hot, huh? Yeah, definitely so. And the must I call it, if I could probably crown the king of samples, it would be this man. Because George is, I mean, everyone in his community is so generous. People just, there's a lot of times when people just get some whiskey mail, but this guy, I'm gonna be talking about you tonight, George. So watch out. Super, super generous guy. Thanks, George. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about this. Mainly because I have so many and I feel a bit guilty to have so many. So light up the chat and let me know. Give me a guesstimate of how many sample bottles you all probably have. This is not a competition of who's got the most, because I think that actually, if you got the most, you kind of lose to an extent, because we really need to be drinking these little bottles, right? So give me an idea. I'm probably in the 50 to 60 bottle range, I think. That might be conservative. Um, I've been perusing through a few here and there to kind of see what all I had. But I'm not really sure. Well, no, if I've got 20 on my table right now, I'll probably are closer to the 70 to 90, 80, 100 kind of. We'll see that. So let's see. Oh, hey, Peter. Good to see you in here. And Jimmy Jazz. Oh, that moved so fast. It clicked on the wrong one. Let's see. So Andrew right now, Zach Andrews is having a Four Roses 2020 edition that Daniel H gave him. So great point. Great point. And then I think this is the biggest, the kind of the point I want to make is whiskey tastes best when it's shared, right? We like to share our whiskey. We like to let someone else experience what we're getting and kind of compare and see that. So, what do? We put them in these little tiny bottles, and we say, "Here, I want you to have some of this." And then we get this, and then we put it away. Or, I have been known to walk around with these in my purse and not realize that they're even there. And some of the places to go with my purse is probably not good to have the alcohol in my purse, if you know what I mean. But so we kind of hoard them and hang on to them. And I think the best way that we can honor this gift is to partake of it, right? But some of them we want to kind of hang on to for a while. And I'd be interested to see what you thought. Like, why do we hang on to them? Why do we almost like hoard them to where, is it a mood thing? Is it, a timing thing? There's a couple of different reasons I think we can chat about tonight. But I just want to kind of go through, must see what all everybody else is drinking and how many they have. So Andrew is pleading the fifth. I'm probably on how many he has. I understand that completely, totally and completely. So Peter is having, oh, okay, SMWS Canada is equal to Alberta. Okay. Oh, let's see what else. So Trooper had 17 samples, mostly from Zach M. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just the samples are just a great way to even try something without committing to an entire bottle too, right? So it helps everybody out. And what you give, you usually get back, right? And I kind of like to try something, but I don't know that I want to outlay that bottle. And it's okay to say, hey, would anybody have a little sample? I mean, it's not like you have to get an entire, big sample bottle of it, but just something to give you enough of a taste to know. So Daniel H says, it's the only channel that makes sense, and Leanne is always fun. Yes, I am fun. I try to be fun. I'm probably freezing like mad right now. Y'all, don't get me started on our awful Cox Communication internet service. But yeah, we have really good people here. So Peter, glad you're here with us, and hang in there. If anything, just have a sip, and hopefully the audio is good. We'll call it that way. Good deal. So let's see who else. So George he's getting the fifth too. George, I can't even imagine what your sample. Like, I've seen how many SMWS bottles you have from doing Zooms. I can't imagine where you store all your samples. Oh my goodness. Stacy says she has 35 to 40. A friend gave you a bunch of Redbreast single cask samples. Girl, that's not a friend. That's family you choose. Somebody's gonna give you Redbreast single cask samples. Oh my heavens. Yeah, hang on to that person for sure. Hey, Daniel, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. I hope, I'm sure your temps are a little bit cooler than down here, friend. Daniel's getting ready not too long from now. Going to be going over to Scotland, over to the Whisky Academy, Isla. Let's see. So 60 bottles in the frame of the camera. Yeah, there's these, but there's other little bottles here. Goodness. So, oh, and a Port Allen I'm saving for who knows what. You say that I understand. I have this is one of those, Tom. This is one of those that you save. And so let's talk about saving samples because this one I was bequeathed to bequeathed. No, nobody died over it. This one I was given by the Scotch for Dummies guys. When Andrew came down in April, he gave me this sample, and it's a Rosebank 21. I really need to be in a good headspace, having not had garlic or crawfish. There are environmental conditions that need to happen for me to have this sample. You know what I mean? That's a big one. Another one from them is the Glengoyne Teapot Batch 7. And then Keith, Malted Man Cave, he sent me one. So I have a collection of teapot drams, and I've got those all together, and I'm saving those because I want to do a comparison, right? I don't want to dip into those. Bill Hensley, who's going to be going over to the Isla Whiskey Academy too, he sent me a flight of all Islas from each of the distilleries. One of them was Kelpie. I really wanted to get into that Ardbeg Kelpie the other night when I was on with Jennifer, but I refrained because all those samples I need to be on a Zoom call with Bill, or here because I think he's coming in December. So being able to share them in a certain environment, okay, you can you can put those to the side, right? And kind of decide that's where those need to go. But some of these other ones we really need to do something about, right? So let's see who else is on tonight. Oh gosh, let's see. Yeah, oh, hey, it's Wheelhouse Whiskey. Hello and cheers to you, friend. What type of sherry are you having tonight? Sherry cask. I live vicariously. There we go. Drinking some 10-year-old Duffton sherry bond. Dude, we know you. We know you. I just love your flavor profile, dude. So love it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Daniel Hayes is being new to single malt. I've been keeping a 2-ounce sample from each of his new bottles over the past month. Tag them and keep them from comparison in emergency case. In case of emergency drink. That's a great way of doing it, especially when you're getting close to towards the end of a bottle, right? And you want to kind of preserve some of that bottle. That's a great way is to put it in a sample bottle, label it, know when you got into it, when it came from. Let's see. So right now you have about 30 different 2-ounce single malt samples right now. That's perfect because you never know, like when you might get a different variation of that one bottle. So that Victoriana is a really good example of being able to get a sample bottle. I didn't have batch 2, but Whiskey Mysteries, they had the batch 2. I had batch 1. So I ended up getting a sample from them to be able to do that comparison video. Very cool. Yeah, Ardbeg. Michael's like, I had a sample bottle of Johnny Walker Blue, but it's gone after I used it for celebratory purposes. After passing your CDL test, Friday, congratulations. That's that's a big accomplishment. Everybody do a Slàinté y'all to that. Way to go. Wow. So yeah, so let me tell you what. So this is a 96.19 at almost 60 ABV. It needs a little water. So it's a Glendronach SMWS, and it's all bourbon. You can tell. And it's super, super sweet. Wow, wow, wow. So this came from the dummies. Man. Sounds like cotton candy sweet. That's great. I definitely it's it's a little warm. So I'm gonna take that down just a little bit and let it breathe out some more. Let's see here. Daniel Stacy, I hung on the sample of the Redbreast Palace Bar for several months. Those are special samples you want to open up for a special time. Totally get it. Yeah, you got to be in the right. It's not just I want a dram tonight. It's like, ta-da, we need that dram tonight for sure. Need to get some samples down to your email address. Yeah, okay. Peter, we'll have to talk. Have a couple of empty sample bottles now. Yeah, so repurposing those bottles, that's the beauty. You drink them, you can fill them up again, and then gifting them to someone else is really super. And we'll talk about I'm going to talk about labeling a little bit too here in a bit. But gosh, we got lots of comments and I'm woefully behind. Daniel says, I tend to pour my samples. I only have a few unopened ones. Most of them with whiskey in them are opened. Yeah, because this is 2 or 3 drinks for me. I'm not going to kill this whole thing in one night for sure. Thanks. A had a B now and now an AB. Oh yeah, being able to compare. That's interesting. And then all bourbon Glendronach. Talk to me, babe. The Gathering. I'm gonna tell you, there was another SNWS. Ooh, I'm getting big bananas off of it now. Cotton candy to bananas after water. Interesting. But yeah, the Glendronach. It's an oxymoron to kind of think. It's a very big paradigm shift, right? Because you think Glendronach, it's going to be Oloroso, it's going to be PX, it's going to be this, kind of nutty, heavy, well, not even really heavy. It's more of a balanced sherry flavor, but this is all bourbon. It's got some heat still on it, even with the water. More, spice heat than alcohol heat. Wow, that's really good. Definitely prefer it with the water. Tone down the sweetness a bit. Let's see. Where am I? Sending samples to Ontario's risky. Yeah, see that is a big deal. To be able to share whiskey is what we all like to do. But there are regulations and there are guidelines, and some places it's prohibitive, and how the shipping works and who the carrier is, and sometimes it's hot sauce from Louisiana was a package of jambalaya in there to kind of like mask the sound. Just saying, rice shakes. There are times I'm going over to see my friend Jennifer and Zach over in Houston, and I come home with enough bottles rattling down I-10 to play in tune with the music on the radio. It's just how you get there. You have to be smart about it, because it can go bad. And just know that there's a risk with that. If at all possible, hand to hand is the best way to do it, especially if you can just share whiskey that way. Right. Let's see here. I'm gonna had a pre-trip looking through more about the Dalmore and Expert. Yeah, so both of those are examples of atypical maturations, right? That's why I think they're just so good, that you really kind of get into that, So James is, I've really been getting into the independent bottling later, paying off, great value if you know what to look for. And that is interesting. And it's a great point about that, because independent bottlers can do different things with a cask, that core range distilleries don't have the liberty of doing a lot of. Maybe they'll do some single cask offerings, but what are they going to do with, Glendronach doesn't have a core range, all bourbon matured Scotch. So what are they doing that where they might be using it to do different expressions or experimental things like that? So it's interesting. what you can get off of an independent bottler. James, there's one that I got up with the Dummy's 6th anniversary up at the Storied Company, and it's at Glen Scotia 25. Dude, independent bottler, Murray McDavid. Was it Murray McDavid? One of those. And unbelievable value. And, add $500 to it, and you've got the distillery version of the 25-year-old. Well, that one's not on my shelf. The independent bottling is on my shelf. So totally get you there. Let's see what else we've got. So Stacey's saying can send samples to Ireland, but not Northern Ireland or Canada. They get stopped. Yeah, that's such a bummer. Ugh, such a bummer. And then I sent Ben some olive oils and balsamic vinegars to taste test for his business partners. That's a good route to go. Andrew Butler sent me homemade aromatherapy samples that had no commercial value. And they were just like, oh, this is so tranquil. I really do appreciate those, Andrew. We'll have to see if some hot sauce can go back over to you for sure. Let's see. And Peter is like, if you could label it American whiskey, and Alberta would not care. Well, that's nice to know. Some places, for sure. Mostly made up of Lefroy. Yeah, that no name. Yeah, I think it's back this side. I think it's back there. No name number 3. It's really tasty stuff. Yeah, so we got our samples, and we're kind of saving them for stuff, and just thought of some easy ways to drink our samples. And one of those is if you're taking a quick trip. So say you're going to take a weekend trip, and you want to have something to drink, and the hotel bar is so not going to have that. We had our company beach trip last month, in May, and I took I think about 10 samples. Had maybe 4 or 5 of them, but I had a complete menu of different things to choose for, and I didn't have to haul big bottles. So that's a really good way of doing things for sure. Is that to take those on a trip. And I've also found that I'm starting to collect certain ones. I have probably 10 samples of Bob Blair, mainly from Mike. You all know who Mike is, the Bob Blair fanboy from Scotch or Dummy Folk. So I have those, and those I'm kind of collecting to do like a mass taste across the board on flight on those. Yeah, that's for sure. Let's see. So Andrew, you have sent 174 packages to 14 different countries. Oh my word. I can't even imagine. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy generous, friend. Oh my heavens. And Chad says, Mark from Scotch for Dummies successfully sent you, who's in Canada, a Glendronach Kingsman. Wow. That made it through. Y'all put everything on black. Trying to send that bottle to freaking Canada. Holy moly. That's awesome. And here's Jennifer from last week, my sweet friend, enjoying the Bunnahabhain Manzanilla. I know you say it so much nicer than I do. Cast sample from last week. Yes, girl, it's so good, so tasty. I have found, so Andrew from Scotch for Dummies tends to just kind of write in a mark slot, on a Sharpie. He'll just write on the bottle itself, which is Gugon will take that off. So just know that. And then you'll get the paper labels. So I use a paper label, but I tend to put clear tape on the bottle and then put the paper label on it so that you can tear it all off and nothing will stick. The label won't stick. Here's one. Actually, Jennifer, this is a Duncan Taylor. You gave me cast strength Tobermory 10. And tape works well, just your regular old masking tape. That works fine. I think I've got a blue one. Somebody had used blue tape. I'm trying to remember who did that. And then let's see. Who was it? Give me this. Rich Cannon. That's right. So when this one showed up from Rich, and I think it's an Ederdauer. Yeah. Why aren't you? There we go. 9-year bottling sherry butt. It is hermetically sealed. Somebody tell me what this tape is called. I keep forgetting. I call it fish skin, and I know that's not the correct term, but it helps seal. I think they use it for grafting plants together. But it is super about sealing bottles. He had a very nice label. All the who, what, where, when, and how, but didn't tell me his name. So I have to write the name down. That's the other thing. Before you give it to the person, put your initials on it or your name. Or I will say, again, I'm gonna brag on George, because George is the king of sample bottle labels. And this one, this is spectacular. I need to read the rest of that. This is a Bemore Moment of Salinity SMWS, 16-year-old single malt whiskey, Isla 56.9. Bottle is opened. He had a bottle open date. And y'all, I just have to show you his adorable labels. And you're going to see Artie there in a sec. Girl, come on in. Focus. Come on. Right there. Maybe not. You should be able to see that there we go. See Artie? Isn't he adorable? But look at this label, y'all. I mean, this is like a spreadsheet on a bottle. And he just that's my love language, George. I swear, all that detail, I love it. I absolutely love it. You do such a service for everyone that you give bottles to. I swear, it's really amazing. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back to some comments. We're talking about some Compass Box in here. Oh, yum! Yes, try the Orchard House. It is very good, very reasonable bottle, like around $50-ish. Super value. Love that bottle. Yeah, the shipping woes can be a lot. Okay, so Stacy says, I've seen people vacuum seal bottles in a bag. Need to try that. I usually do even if I'm traveling with samples, I would put everything in a baggie, because you just don't know. And you don't want whatever you got it packed in for it to spill if something happens. So that's a good practice to have. So Peter says, my labels require a code breaker to read. I would like to see what that is. Interesting. Masking tape and Sharpies. Don't feel real cheap. They do the job. They absolutely do the job. I know exactly what this is, but I had to put JM on it so I can remember it was you that gave it to me. Okay, so I'm moving on to my next dram. Let's see. So when you drink your samples, do you track them? I mean, I can imagine there's someone that has a spreadsheet, and probably all good intentions. It would be interesting to put all my sample bottles in a spreadsheet so I knew what I drank and when I got it, kind of have that data, you know, that would be very interesting. Um, so this one, my next one is from George, and it is a Linkwood 39.185 SMWS splinter studded spanking. Oh my word. I can't even imagine. So this is a Space Side, 12 years. Oh goodness. Oh, I'm seeing some sherry up in this one. So these are interesting. The darker bottles, you can't really tell so much what something is, but it kind of protects. Isn't that a pretty color? Oh, I'm liking that, George. Uh, maybe I'm thinking that's Oloroso. A Linkwood. I've had a couple Linkwoods, but I don't remember them being sherry. I remember them being bourbon. Hey there, Donner. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Let us know what samples, how many sample bottles you got, and why don't you drink them, or do you get them? When you get them, do you say, "Oh, okay, I'm going to drink this tomorrow night"? And if you're having one tonight, let us know what you're having. Sure. Sample sharing worked to calm my FOMO of the blue spot. Very nice. If you didn't ever get a bottle, then it's okay with me. I did end up getting one and didn't stress about it. It really is something. Again, it's like some of these you're not going to get. Like I could not get a teapot dram bottle. I couldn't get one, but I got a sample, and that's enough for me to say I've had teapot dram, and I didn't have to get the whole bottle. There was a bottle I did get. It was I think this is the beauty about sharing, right? It was a Bruichladdich distillery release that it was like straight to market. So, and it was they called it the Ternary Project. And it was different percentages of Classic Lottie, Port Charlotte, and then a 2008 Octomore. And it was absolutely divine. It was a pretty stiff price bottle, but it was absolutely divine. I figured out that 19 people got to have some of that bottle. I gave the last sample to Mark JG when he was here a couple of weeks ago. When I saw Zach last, I sent him his bottle, gave him his, and it's just amazing what being able to share that all those people got to have some of that, but 19 bottles didn't go to all those people, so you're able to get it to where other folks can enjoy it. And that's the beauty about the samples. Oh, George, this is delightful. Some real grassy notes on the front end. I wouldn't have figured that out. But man, again, pretty warm. So Stacy says she bought a nice whiskey journal 2 years ago and writes notes about all the whiskeys to try. I've yet to open it. Funny you should say that. Because this is a notebook. You're in great company. Great company. I promise you. You're super company. Because this journal I bought in 2016 at Jura, and it's blank on the inside. And I thought tonight, this would be a perfect thing to say, okay, if I'm going to have this Linkwood, this bottle, then I could write notes in here, and I will do my due diligence and try to do that. But that's a really good point, right? I'm not going to walk around with a spreadsheet and put all that data in, but it would be good to be able to do that and chronicle what this generosity is from other people giving you different drams, right? Oh goodness. This Linkwood is very malty and grassy with a lot of like a burnt sugar nuttiness, I guess, from the sherry. It's got a beautiful color. It's going to make me want to go figure out which sherry that is now. Very good. Trooper, we ain't ever going to see that. Well, first of all, you have to get teapot dram from the actual distillery. The one time I'm at the distillery, they didn't have it. I was like, okay, lovely, super awesome. Oh, let's see. Heard there were 39 coming. That would be beautiful. Not peated. Okay, so another 39. That's the liquid, right? Not peated. They had a similar one recently, which missed. Yeah, tough thing about SMWS, you can miss them quick, but man, there's just so many good ones. I've not had one I was ever disappointed in. I mean, there were a couple that were like, okay, it's okay, and I felt it was worth the money, but I've never had one where I was like, oh, this is not good. Gold Spot is supposed to hit the U.S. Okay, so we've got yellow, red, blue, and green spots, and now we're going to have a gold spot. So do you know like what the deal is about that, Stacey? Like what maturation or what's the makeup of that one? Hey, Alex, welcome. Thanks for being here. You have to tell us what you're sampling tonight. You got a couple of sample bottles. Crack one open and join us. We're trying to bust up everybody's hoard of tiny little bottles. So for those of you who do the whole, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of thing, if you take pictures of your whiskey, like some of us are very compelled to do, I would like you to take part during the month of July. So we're early in July. Every time you post a sample glass, I would like you to tag it with hashtag drink your samples. Let's see if we can get that trending. I did this a couple of years ago and we really did get a lot of traction on it, and it's a lot of fun. So, hashtag drink your samples. If you want to also tag me, that would be super. That way I'll definitely be able to see it, but I'll be monitoring that for sure. I want to make sure because we want to get people to start breaking open their samples and see what they got. Okay, so I'm going to go to another drink. Let's see who else we got talking. It's fortunate enough to be able to do a sample swap with Andrew Butler at Milroy's in May. Wow. Well, you won twice, getting to see Andrew and go to Milroy's. He gave some unicorns that I'm going to have in September for your birthday. Wow. Y'all see, this right here this is all it. This is all it. I love it. Love it. That's great. So Chad says it's a 9-year bourbon matured sherry, Bordeaux, and port pipes. Good gravy. That's just like, that's like a gobstopper. It's just like different layers of all the different ones. Goodness. That's going to be crazy. Yeah. Oh, and a burgundy wine cask. Okay. One-time thing. So Jim's moving on to McKinley and Company Rare Old Malt, Highland Malt that Bobby J sourced. Okay. Love it. And let's see. And then Milk and Honey Apex Dead Sea. I don't think I know what that is. Oh, no, I know what Milk and Honey. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. I've never had that, but I have heard of the Milk and Honey brand for sure. So this is one. If bottles coming out of Zach Andrews' house were rabbits and not like Artie, sorry, and George, these things just multiply and they multiply and they all have balcones on them. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And they made it to my house. So my friend, I am having Mirador pot distilled. for you. I'm God, it smells good. So tell us about this one, Zach. Balcones Mirador. 56.2. I didn't choose anything tonight under 55 ABV. Whew. No wonder I'm having a hot flash. Oh man, super malty. And it's probably what, 36 months old. May not even be that. Let's see. I'm gonna let that sit out for a second. Yes, Zach, tell us all about that Mirador and your other faves for sure. It is very malty. It's a light sweetness. More, I get a lot of citrus off of this one. It's the 2020 Mirador. Wow. Sweet on the front end, definite heat, cinnamony kind of, well, not even really cinnamony. It's not ginger. Well, I mean, maybe more like a white pepper. And then a citrus lemongrass finish. Big time. And this should not be any surprise to any of us, but all of them are his favorites. All of them. That's for sure. Yeah, ton of tropical. I get a pineapple. Do you come off of that? Just then. Oof. I don't know if that was a power of suggestion or what, but sometimes, I mean, it's not unusual to get banana off of something with the right particular, but this is total pineapple with a little bit of grapefruit. And I don't think I'm gonna put any water on this. Maybe the last sip. But yeah, that is really tasty. So other things you can do with samples. We talked about taking a pile of them on a quick trip. I'm going to work on a video later, another DIY video in the fall on how to prep an advent calendar. And quite frankly, gather 24 samples together and call it an advent calendar. Y'all, I'm serious. Have somebody else go pick out of your stash. And even if you didn't have like a cute little box or, something with drawers or something to pull out, you could have someone, even in your family, to wrap it up in like tissue paper and put a tag number on it. And you have a collection of 24 sample bottles, and you would be able to go through it with as if it's your own advent calendar. Or if it's you're celebrating your birthday that month, you could have them somebody to just take your samples that you already have, but give you some construct in which you can go through them. That's a lot of fun. So Alex is saying that he's had the 2021 Mirador. So wonder how that. And Zach says, you need to get the 2022. Oh gosh, y'all. If y'all haven't figured out, Zach does like his balcones, and he's very well versed in balcones. And if you know Zach, he's not going to tell you he likes it just because he wants to like all balcones. He likes it because he likes it. Oh man. So, but yeah, it's when someone gives you that, because Zach gave these balcones samples to me quite a while ago, and just making my way through them and kind of getting over the pretext that bourbon is not my favorite thing. And the Mirador is a single malt, right? I want to say it is. It smells malty. Part of it is just kind of prioritizing. We have all these big bottles, and it's like, oh, we need to crack that open. Sometimes we just really don't want to crack that open. You just go grab one of your sample bottles for different things. And I think it's important to like close the circle. So someone gave you the bottle and you had some of it. It's good to close the circle and let that person know what you thought about it. Might not be your thing, and that's okay. That's all right. That's the whole reason we're sampling, right? Zach, I'm still getting pineapple and grapefruit off of that. That's totally crazy. It's Golden Promise, all in refill casks. Golden Promise is a variation of malt barley. Wow. Zach Andrews is my hero. He is a sample hero, right? Right behind George. He and George can go neck and neck on a couple different things for all around super guys. That's for sure. The Mirador 2020 is fantastic. On the fence on which he likes better, the 2020 or the 2022, rather. Awesome. Well, so this is the 2020, and 2022 must be really, really good. That's for sure. Oh, man, kind of going through. So, how do you store your samples? I have like this little tiny cabinet that I kind of pull them all in there, and and then my friend Dudley, who is over my best friend from college, his dad evidently drank old Chivas Regal, and he had these tins, and that the bottle came in, and he was using them for something else. What I like about these, and I know like Ardbeg and Glenmorangie will do some fun little tins too. I find they're too short. They might be okay for this size bottle, but not for this size bottle. And I love the fact that this tall Chivas Regal is going to hold all of these, so they can be nice and kind of tidy, because they tend to want to spill, especially with 3 dogs running around knocking things over. So tell me how you store yours. Do you put them with your regular bottles? Do you have them in a stash somewhere? Do you catalog them at all? You just kind of go, I'm going to pick that one tonight, that kind of thing. Well, let's see. Going back to Brimstone, tasted that first at the Bastard's Ball, and it was like corn on the cob roasted on the grill. Now all I get is burnt corn. Good, but not the same. Interesting. Probably on the back, previous samples toned it down. Yeah, might have. See, you got a Nike box. Well, you use whatever works, right? You got to have something, lid's got to fit on top of it, and that's for sure. Goodness, let me pour a little bit of water in that to get that out. And then I have another sample, atypical for Lee. And again, y'all, thanks for hanging in there. I appreciate it. We've got 19 or so in. If you could hit the like button, even though I'm sure the video is not good tonight. I do appreciate the patience. Unfortunately, I live in an old neighborhood with lots of trees, and Cox is not going to come in here and put fiber anytime soon. So I would like your opinion on, is this tolerable or not to deal with the technical issues. So this dram is this one is a Starlight Oloroso Mash and Journey barrel. I don't know what year this is from, because it's not on the bottle. I don't know if it was their first one. Oh man, Michael, you're not on tonight, are you? You could probably tell me which one it is, but my heavens. So I'm super excited. We're going to go up to Louisville in September. Louisville. Somebody tell me how to say that. And I'm so Southern. The Ville is Vull. in the South. I'm just saying. Just Louisville. Oh man. So I'm definitely want to check out Starlight after seeing Michael's Sunday Evening Scotch on the Scotch for Dummies live show last Thursday. He's out with his first bottling of Starlight. And it's this one was from the Mash Journey. So the Mash and Drum and my Bourbon Journey together. I think I got that right. Definitely get all that Oloroso sherry goodness on it. Did you see that? I drank bourbon. Y'all don't fall out or anything, okay? That's really tasty. It's not super sweet. Dry on the end. Definite spice on there. I'm wondering what kind of cask. I'm sure it's still new oak. Kind of getting that oakiness from there, that's for sure. Let's see. Thank you, Andrew. Mr. Andrews. Thank you, Mr. Andrews. Zach, I appreciate it. Start last month. Okay, interesting. Yeah, call it radio with family pictures and only know what kind of facial expressions I'm making, but thank you there. Just oh goodness. So might drive down to Louisville one day to meet everyone. It's not a bad drive from Columbus. Yeah, it shouldn't be. I mean, I'm driving from Louisiana. That's for sure. Audio's coming in fine. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Golly, y'all I really do appreciate the support and the patience as we get through. I have so many ideas of things I want to do. But I also want a really good product. And unfortunately, my internet provider is not fitting the bill. They're billing me. Believe me, they're billing me, but they're not doing what they're supposed to. But yeah, so are we gonna drink all our samples now? We've gone through this little exercise. We're gonna catalog them. We're gonna write down all our tasting notes. No, we're not. we might try for a little while, but odds are it's we're just gonna keep kind of stockpiling and every once in a while kind of go through and see what we can get in the mood for. That's very interesting. It's really this is that my Bourbon Journey Mash and Starlight. And I'm thinking it's probably a 43, 46 maybe. I've had 3 cast drinks tonight, so yeah, it's definitely lighter than that, but really pretty tasty. Nighttime, dinner time. He's out in the wild tundra of Alaska. Thank you, friend, for being here. I'll try to patch 5. Yum. But I do. So I know I like O. I say O. I want to send some samples to some folks. One of which is a young guy who is living his best life over on the West Coast. He went to LSU and a super guy named RJ, and he loves Lagavulin 16. Loves Lagavulin 16. So I need to put I'm going to pledge this week to get his samples together and get those to him, and probably a package of jambalaya because I'm sure he's missing some jambalaya too. And get that out to him. So think about who you can gift some samples to. Think about some that you've had tonight that you need to maybe go back and talk to that person and say thank you. Complete that circle of generosity. And do that. All right, I'm going to go back to this liquid. What else is everybody having? Let's see. So Andrew says he does like to do some catch-ups every now and then before you get more of a backlog of buildups. Yeah. That doesn't work for my closet either. I have a friend who's like, if she buys something new, something's got to go out of the closet for the new thing to go in the closet. It doesn't work. Doesn't work with sample bottles either. I'll find a place for it. That's for sure. Uh, you know, Trooper, I'm trying to think who might even have Starlight down up here. But might need to see about bringing some of that back after I go up to Louisville. But you also have 2 bottles at my house, bro. You need to come up here and get them. That's for sure. Well, I hope everybody had a safe 4th. Not everything in the world is safe for sure right now. And thoughts and patience. We've had I love my country, but we need to work on getting a little bit better for each other. That's for sure. But I'm going to tell you, I really do appreciate all these samples. I look at them and I think about who took the time to make this label, to decide what Leanne would like, and to put those together, to be able to share that. And that's a really pretty cool thing. It's one thing if someone's trying to find a particular thing and you help them out. And it's another if they're going to want to share something with you. Like I have a Weller 12-year-old right here. This is my cousin. I talked to him the other night. I'm seeing him in a couple of weeks. And he's like, I can't find Weller 12 for anything. This is going to Nashville. So I'll take this. And I'm wondering, I'm trying to think again. I don't know who gave it to me because I don't have their name on it. I'll have to go back and, I think I do know. I think this might have been Mike. But I'll go and I'll share this with my cousin. And he'll put an ice cube in it and I'll just say, bless his heart, and we'll move on. Because I do love him. But he should drink his whiskey like he wants to and not necessarily like I would. And that's okay. I'm not a whiskey snob. Y'all know me. I'm not a whiskey snob. But that is the point of it, right? Is being able to share it. It really is. Being able to talk about the drams, see what people would be excited or interested in. And then giving it. So this is one, Stacy, this one, if you're still on, you would be interested in this one. This is a Middleton Barry Crockett. The guy in my Scotch, in my bourbon group, dropped one of our tasting samples off to him. He lives kind of out of town and couldn't make it at the pickup. So I just said, well, here, I'll drop them. I'm going to be in the neighborhood. I'll drop your bottles off. So I did. And then he said, well, here, take this. And I said, oh, well, thank you. And I stuck it in my pocket and I just went off. This is one that stayed in my purse probably for about 2 or 3 weeks because I put it in a little pocket in my purse and I forgot it was in there and did not realize what this is. Stacy, I'm sure you know it. Yeah. Stacy knows for sure that Barry Crockett is awesome. And that was a way of saying thank you all the way out here and bringing me something. It's really good. It's a good thing to do. It's the best way to share, So again, when you're out there posting pictures of different things, don't forget to go ahead and do that hashtag drink your samples. Tag me on it too. That is really good. That's at Linkwood. I'm going to tell you, I'm digging that, George. Digging it a lot. I'm going to have another slight little pour. Anyway, cool stuff. But, well, I hope everybody's had fun tonight. Thanks again for your patience. It's been something. If nothing else, just use this as a podcast. And I'll try to explain more what I'm doing. We're very, very close to the 4,000 watch hours. We're about 250 under. So If anyone just wants to go ahead and stream all a playlist in the background of Scotch on the Bayou, help us out. You think this is something that the videos that are on the site on YouTube or the live stream is something one of your whiskey buddies would like to know about? Send them a link, ask them to join and join in with the party and have fun. I am very thankful for all of you. I love seeing all these same names every week. And that you put up with the technical part of it. It really does my heart in really well. And I hope you all have a great weekend, a great week. It's a short week, right? We're having a couple of days off towards the weekend and going to go listen to some music and get out of town for a little bit. But I thank y'all very much for being here. Go have a couple more samples. Hashtag drink your samples. And until next week, guys, love y'all. Being it. Slàinté, y'all.